Hey guys, okay, so a long time ago I made a video about how to jump timelines, and it is a very simple way, but it isn't an easy way because our attention is fought for pretty much every second of every day, and social media is a large part of that program. But I want to reiterate it because the energies on the planet are very intense, and because every moment your nervous system is not regulated and you are not standing in what you want and actively choosing as a sovereign being what you want to experience, you are sucked into the collective. And the collective is distorted and traumatized and triggered and unstable and very old world, dominating, conquering, fear-based, blah, blah, blah. So just want to do a take 2 on the timeline jumping, okay? Try to make this as simple as I can. A lot of people are not going to be able to make sense of this. It's just they haven't studied quantum physics, they haven't studied spirituality, they haven't worked through a lot of their own stuff to recognize how it actually works. We get into semantics a little bit here, but we are beings that are energetic. We can incarnate into what we would call physical, but the physical is still based on sacred geometry and energetic patterns that manifest on what we would call physical. But when we're not incarnate in physical, this still applies. The concept still works no matter whether you are in the energetic realms or planes of existence or whether you're in the physical planes of existence. There's a little bit of a time buffer in the physical planes, it seems, but the concepts are still there. So you experience your reality based on what you give your energy to. Your energy is in ways of emotions, but also in intentions and attentions, okay? So if you are watching social media and there are narratives playing out as to what's happening in the world, I need you to remember that that is a reality. You do not need to align with that reality. Your participation in that reality through emotions of stress or fear that spikes, which is designed to do that, or your attention on it, where you keep in the echo chamber, keep clicking on those types of videos and you're getting the same kind of feedback. You are putting your energy, which is your life force. It is your creative power. It is your divine spark. You are nurturing that reality with your participation of it. So if you don't want those realities, if you don't want to experience those realities, to be part of those realities, to nurture those realities for the collective, you have to pull your energy out of it. Now, I understand this is tricky because there have been decades, if not hundreds, if not thousands of years of a small group of individuals who have spent a lot of time and money and their energy on creating a world narrative where they have convinced us that this is how things work and this is how it really is. And we unknowingly, because we have only recently become self-aware beings in the human collective evolutionary process, we haven't had any ability to discern whether or not that is true. We see it, and so we assume that that is true. But just because you see something doesn't mean that is your reality. We know this, right? That some person can be living 2 doors down from you, having a totally different experience of the world than you're having. And that's because it's where you're putting your focus. So when these narratives come up that spike you, when you feel as though your energy is being pulled or unstable, your nervous system is being unstabilized. Hey, sorry about that. I had to take that phone call that was coming in. All right, so when you find yourself getting swayed to lend your energy to something and you don't want to, you have to learn how to basically put yourself in check. So being swayed to lend your energy, you know that by the emotions that an experience brings up in you. So a stroll in the park with someone you love is going to stir emotions. It's going to lend you to give your energies to that experience, to participate in it fully. What's happening is, because again, we've only recently become self-aware as a collective species, we didn't realize that whenever we have an emotional response, we are lending our energies to that which is giving us the emotional response, which means that we are participating in it. We are energetically tying ourselves to these experiences, pulling ourselves or anchoring ourselves into that reality. We have to be able to recognize the emotional spike. Oh, this is causing me fear. This is causing me anxiety. This is making me worry. This is making me angry. Those are not experiences I want to continue to have. Therefore, I need to proclaim with my sovereignty as a sovereign being, awakened sovereign being, that I do not consent to being aligned with a reality that causes me anxiety. My field is phase locked with sovereignty, truth, clarity, love, whatever emotion that you feel is right for you. Those are kind of my default ones. So you're anchoring into what you choose. That does not mean that those other experiences are not going to happen. For other people who are lending their creative energies through the use or the hijacking of their emotions, that they aren't lending themselves to that reality. The reason why this is important right now, aside from the fact that war is on everyone's mind, it seems, the way that they're pushing that narrative, every side is blaming every side, every race, religion, creed, whatever is blaming someone else, and that's all just been part of the narrative that has run by the haves against the have-nots. Now, we already discussed in a previous video that the haves do not want nor have any interest in giving the have-nots equality, because then the haves would not be the haves. They would just be the same as everybody else, and they like their power and prestige and status. They like that. They don't want to give that up. They don't want to be equal to everyone. They don't want to all be, even if it means that we all win, that is not what they're interested in. So you just have to let that go and recognize that everything that they do, every file they drop, every disclosure that gets declassified, every government document that leaks, they allow it. It is not like we are winning. We are not. We are still participating in the same old ways, the same old paradigms, which is just keeps this beast running. So we have to pull out our energy, our participation. We have to pull out of that collective and put our creative abilities as a sovereign being into what we want and to begin to nurture that. Now, at first, you may not see a whole bunch of change. It may just be little miracles that trickle in along the way, little synchronicities, little things that just kind of show up like, oh, that's nice. But after a while, you will build momentum, the stronger you can stabilize your field. You have to regulate your nervous system. Period. Dot. You have to. There is no getting around this, guys. You have to be able to feel the emotion, use that as an indicator, and decide whether or not you choose to participate. There will be some who don't grasp this concept of timeline jumping, because this is essentially what you're doing. They won't grasp it. They'll call bullshit on it. They'll worry that it's actually not going to work. So they're only half 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And you have to just let them be where they are. You can't save anyone. You can be a cheerleader. You can, pray for them. You can encourage some when they stumble, but you just can't save them for them. They have to wake up from the slumber of the illusion that they're in, and they have to recognize that they do in fact have a choice. Just like when we were little and our parents said, for lunch you may have a hot dog or a peanut butter, what would you like? And we happily chose the one that we liked best, believing that that was our choice to make, when in actuality it was not. Our parents could have given us any number of things, but they were trying to make it easy on themselves, and they gave us the illusion of choice so that we were happy and that they could just give us what they actually wanted to give us in the first place. And the same concept applies here. You think you have a choice of this or this, but actually you have not just A or B, you have C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. You have all the way. You have an unlimited amount of choice, and that is something that just keeps getting brought to my attention over and over and over again, is you choose. You have choice. You are never made to do anything, and that is actually how the haves get out of any kind of karmic retribution. They have set up the evil empire to where we're all participating in it as a form of convenience. We've been lulled into submission in the name of progress and convenience, and really it has just been a trap. We all drive cars, we're dependent on gasoline, we're dependent on jobs that are part of the evil empire. We are in debt, the majority of people, and so they have to still work in order to pay off the debt, in order to buy the goods like water and food, which should be free on the planet that we're born on, but it's not. This is all set up on purpose so that we are forced, or have the illusion of being forced, to choose their agenda in the name of saving our family or our jobs or way of life. And I'm not saying that when we start to pull out of the evil empire narrative, not saying there won't be some inconveniences, but this is where the rubber meets the road, guys, with your faith. You have to maintain the fact that Source always takes care of Source. We are parts of Source, and we're choosing to align with creation, to sovereignty, to recognizing that all life is sacred, that the earth matters. Like, when you're aligning with creation will take care of you. It may not give you everything you want, but it will give you everything you need, and you have to have faith that it just will. Your life may look a little different. Just like back during the COVID time, when we were said, well, you don't have to get but if you do take you can still be employed. People thought they had no choice but to take it, but there was a choice. As a sovereign soul, you had a choice. Yes, you may have gotten fired. Yes, there may have been an upheaval, but you don't know what could have come from that. You might have gotten your job back. You might have gotten back pay. You might have gotten unemployment for a while and time off from the job that you hated anyhow. Like, whatever. Point being that there were other options. You were just told of the peanut butter or the hot dog. You were just told either get it or lose your job. You didn't recognize that there were other choices that would have presented itself to you had you made that timeline jump. So we are here again at a very precarious time in our human adolescent evolution. And I just wanted to share again with you the concept of timeline jumping. Like I said, it is simple, but it is not easy. And if you are looking for your life to stay exactly the same, but you're making different choices, you got to realize that that's likely not going to happen. But I do believe it will be better. Now, there may be a little rough period, but I don't think if there's enough of us aligning with that reality, I don't think it's going to be rough for very long. Humans are ingenious, and especially when we're aligned with our sovereignty and our power and our creative ability, we will find solutions. The people in our reality will be there to pull together to help us work through building a new world system as to what that looks like, where everybody wins. That will present itself. There's no way it won't. But you have to have enough faith in the process of timeline jumping to do that. You have to have enough courage, bravery. You have to be able to rise above the fear that is perpetually thrown at you 24/7. If you can get off social media, get off it. If you can shut off the news, shut it off. Don't let them harness your creative spark by feeding into their narratives of what they want. They want the same to repeat. We have the ability to create something new. Don't give them what they want. It's not enough to where you focus on the positive, but you still are listening to the negative narrative over there. You have to pull all of your energy out. Recognize that some people will experience that, but you will get by unscathed. Somebody 2 doors down may be struggling with all of those things, but you are in your reality, looking out your window, seeing that it is quiet, it is peaceful, the walls are still standing, there is nothing that is happening that should make me feel afraid right here and now in the present moment. And you create from that present moment of peace and clarity and truth, real truth, the real truth that you are safe, you are fine right now. Not the, but what about tomorrow? But what if this happens? You're out of your reality. You're into some other reality, and you're aligning to that reality. You're jumping into that timeline by putting your energy into that timeline. You have to harness your power. You have to stand in your sovereignty. And you say something to the effect of, I see that, I feel the anxiety, I do not consent to that reality. My field is phase locked with truth, with clarity, with love, with sovereignty of all organic life. And then you live from that place as if you have proclaimed it, and it is so, because it actually is. And like I said, you may only see trickles at first, but it will begin to snowball. It will. And when you are standing so stable in your energy field and you are laser focused on what you want for yourself and your loved ones and your reality, you are actually dipping energetically into the collective of humanity, and you are leaving breadcrumbs for other people who are looking for an alternative, who are seeking strength to rise above their fear. You're making it that much easier for them to find it too, and to couple into that reality, to bring them with you. See, the whole point of awakening out of the slumber to the realization that you are a sovereign creative being, the whole reason for you doing it is for the collective. You awaken for the sake of the collective, but you cannot help the collective until they awaken, and you can't make them wake up. You can only leave a bread trail for those who are ready, who have decided to stop pressing the snooze button, who are ready to stand in their own truth because they are tired of being disempowered and fearful and exhausted. So you're doing this for them, but you're also doing it for you. But you have to do it for you, because you can't do it for them. But you can't do it for them until you do it for you. It's a crazy paradox. Anyhow, that's how it works. So remember the phrase, I don't consent. You have a choice. I don't consent to living in a reality where chemicals that are sprayed from a plane adversely affect me or any organic life in any way, shape, or form. I choose and am phase locked energetically to a reality where truth, clarity, sovereignty, and love reign supreme. And then you live as if you're already there. You treat everybody as if we have already achieved that awareness. You treat life, you treat nature, you treat the planet as if we've already gained that awareness. And anytime you falter and get those emotions of what you don't actually want to experience, you recheck back in. Again, I do not consent to a reality where sovereign creator beings are killing other sovereign creator beings out of ignorance or confused self-righteousness. I do not consent to that. My energy field is phase locked with truth, clarity, love, sovereignty, what other terms that you feel resonate with you. That is where you hold your focus. You don't slip. You hold it for the rest of us. You toe that line. We will get there, guys. A portion of us will get there. And with any luck, it'll be a big portion. We don't have to be the majority, guys. We just have to be solid. And we can do that. Those of you who've hung with me for this video, who can grasp these concepts, you are among the ones who can do this, can hold your energy field into the reality that you're choosing. And as they are fighting for your attention with all kinds of disclosure and file dropping and government leaks just to get you tied into that narrative, you are just pulling it back like, you know what? I'm not participating in that storyline at all. Because it doesn't matter. It's just a story that they want us to participate in. I'm choosing to participate in a much quieter, much calmer, much more peaceful, much more loving and truthful reality. That is where I'm phase locked at, and that is where I intend to get. And pull everybody with you that you can. All right, I hope that makes sense. It won't for some, but I'm pretty sure that everybody who finds this video, it will click. Feel free to comment below if you got any other tips or tricks that you'd like to share. Go right ahead. And in the meantime, guys, all my love, good luck on your journey.